In Aesop's fables, dogs are more than just loyal companions. They're reflections of human nature. Across these timeless tales, man's best friend often reveals very human flaws: greed, jealousy, recklessness, even cruelty. They aren't always noble. They don't always do the right thing. But in their imperfections, they teach us something about ourselves. Today, we'll explore 9 powerful dog fables from Aesop and uncover the life lessons hidden in each one. Because sometimes, the best mirror of our own behavior has 4 legs and a wagging tail. 1. The Dog and the Hare. The danger of mixed signals. In this fable, a hound chases a hare across the hillside. At one moment, he's snapping at her heels, aggressive, threatening, even cruel. But the next, he's wagging his tail, acting playful, as if they were just 2 friends having fun. Confused and frightened, the hare finally stops and says, "I wish you'd act sincerely. If you're a friend, why bite me so hard? And if you're my enemy, why pretend to be kind?" The lesson? No one can be a true friend if you don't know whether to trust or fear them. In modern life, this feels a lot like the people who run hot and cold, those who show you affection one day and criticism or cruelty the next. They keep you emotionally off balance. You never know where you stand. And in relationships like that, friendship, love, or family, trust can't survive confusion. 2. The Dog and the Oyster. When impulsiveness hurts. There was once a dog who loved eggs. He raided the hen house often, gobbling them up whole, never chewing, never thinking, just swallowing in pure, greedy delight. One day, while wandering near the sea, he spotted something round and smooth. Without hesitation, he gulped it down. But it wasn't an egg. It was an oyster. Shell and all. A sharp pain shot through his stomach. Groaning, he muttered, "I've learned that not all round things are eggs." The moral? Act in haste and repent in pain. How many times have we gone after something that looked familiar or comforting without pausing to think? A relationship that reminded us of someone we missed. A job that promised quick money. A person who looked perfect on the outside, but left us hurting inside. This fable reminds us, don't let hunger, emotional, physical, or otherwise, drive your decisions. Not everything that looks like an opportunity is safe to swallow. 3. The Dogs and the Hides. The cost of greed and foolish plans. A group of hungry dogs came upon a riverbank where fresh animal hides lay soaking at the bottom of the stream. The smell was rich. The sight was tempting. But the hides were out of reach, sunk beneath deep water. Too impatient to wait, too greedy to walk away, the dogs hatched a plan. Let's drink up the entire river. Once the water's gone, we'll feast. So they began lapping. One dog after another drank and drank, faster and harder, desperate to get to the prize. But the river didn't shrink, and one by one, they burst. Not a single hide was reached. Only swollen bellies and silence remained. The lesson? Do not chase impossible things, or let greed drive you to self-destruction. In modern life, this looks like the schemes that promise everything: overnight riches, toxic relationships we try to fix, or the lengths some people go to impress others. Instead of working smarter, they go to extremes. But obsession can cloud judgment. And sometimes, in trying to have it all, we lose ourselves completely. This fable reminds us, if the path to a reward requires you to destroy yourself, it's not worth the prize. 4. The Hare and the Hound. When survival is the strongest motivation. A hound once chased a hare across the fields. He was fast, fierce, determined. But after a long run, the hound gave up, panting and out of breath. A goat herd nearby mocked him, saying, "You let that little hare outrun you?" "Some hunting dog you are." The hound replied, "You don't understand. I was running for my dinner, but he was running for his life." The lesson? Motivation is everything. In life, we all run, but not always for the same reasons. Some chase ambition, others chase survival. It's easy to criticize someone's effort when you've never felt their urgency. This fable reminds us not to compare struggles without understanding the stakes. When you see someone fighting harder than you thought possible, maybe it's not that they're stronger. Maybe it's that they're desperate. So before you judge someone's pace or path, ask yourself, what are they running from? And what are they running toward? 5. The mischievous dog. When shame is mistaken for pride. There was once a dog so ill-natured and troublesome that his master tied a bell around his neck, not as a reward, but as a warning. Wherever he went, the bell rang loudly, letting everyone know he was near. It wasn't meant to honor him. It was meant to protect others. But the dog misunderstood. He strutted around proudly, parading through the streets, thinking the bell made him special, thinking he was admired. An older dog watched and said quietly, "You'd be wise to stay out of sight with that bell. It doesn't mean you're important. It means you're a danger." The lesson: notoriety is not fame. Today we see this same pattern. People celebrating the very traits they should be correcting. Those who treat rudeness like confidence, who turn red flags into a personal brand, who wear their chaos like a badge of honor. But attention isn't admiration, and a bell doesn't mean you're beloved. It might just mean people know to stay away. 6. The dog in the manger. The bitterness of those who block what they can't enjoy. A tired dog had wandered into a stable and fallen asleep in a manger filled with hay. Soon after, the cattle returned, hungry and worn out from working the fields. But when they approached the hay to eat, the dog sprang up, snarling and snapping at them, refusing to let them near it. The cows stood there baffled. "How selfish he is," one said. "He can't even eat hay, but he won't let us eat it either." Soon the farmer came in, saw what was happening, and, furious at the dog's petty cruelty, drove him out with a stick. The lesson? Don't grudge others what you can't enjoy yourself. We see this behavior often in real life. People who can't find happiness, but resent anyone else who does. Those who don't want the opportunity, but hate to see others succeed. The friend who doesn't want the job, the partner, or the dream you're chasing, but still tries to block your path. It's not about the hay. It's about control. It's about envy disguised as pride. This fable reminds us, true character shows when you have nothing to gain and still choose not to harm. 7. The thief and the house dog. Flattery is a thief's first weapon. One night, a thief crept quietly into a courtyard, hoping to break into the house. But a loyal dog stood guard, barking loudly, refusing to let the intruder pass. The thief, annoyed, tossed the dog a few slices of meat. "Here, boy," he said softly. "No need to bark. Be a good dog and enjoy the treat." But the dog wasn't fooled. He growled and replied, "When you first arrived, I suspected you were up to no good. But now that you're trying to bribe me, I'm certain of it, and I won't stop barking until you're gone." The lesson? Flattery is the first trick of the manipulator. Loyalty sees through the act. In life, not everyone who offers kindness has good intentions. Sometimes gifts come with strings. Sometimes praise is just bait. And often, those who seek to harm you will begin with charm, not cruelty. This fable reminds us, loyalty doesn't mean silence. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is raise your voice. 8. The dog and the shadow. How greed makes us lose what we already have. A dog once received a delicious bone from a butcher. Thrilled, he trotted home, eager to enjoy it in peace. But as he crossed a narrow bridge over a stream, he happened to glance down, and there in the still water, he saw a reflection. Another dog with what looked like a bigger, juicier bone. Without a second thought, he snapped at the shadow, and in that moment, his own bone slipped from his mouth and splashed into the water. gone. He ended up with nothing. The lesson? If you covet all, you may lose all. In life, how often do we lose what's real because we're chasing an illusion? We compare, we want more. We think someone else has it better. And in that hunger for more, we drop what's already good, already ours. This fable reminds us, don't be fooled by reflections. What you envy in others might not even be real. And what you already have could be worth far more than you realize. 9. The Dog and the Wolf, the Hidden Cost of Comfort. A starving wolf wandered the countryside, ribs showing, tired from the constant fight to survive. One night, he crossed paths with a well-fed house dog, glossy coat, full belly, and a confident stride. The wolf eyed him and said, "You look strong and very well fed. How do you live so easily?" The dog smiled. "It's simple. Come live with me. Serve my master, chase off strangers, wag your tail for praise, and you'll eat like a king. Chicken bones, scraps of meat, even cake." The wolf hesitated, imagining a life without hunger. But then he noticed something, a raw, hairless patch around the dog's neck. "What's that mark?" he asked. The dog answered casually, "Oh, just from my collar. During the day, they keep me on a chain." The wolf stopped cold. "You mean you're not free to come and go?" "Well, no, but the food is worth it, isn't it?" The wolf shook his head. "I'd rather starve in the woods than be a fat slave." And with that, he turned and ran back into the forest. The lesson? There is nothing more valuable than liberty. In life, we're often tempted to trade our freedom for comfort. A job that cages us, a relationship that feeds us scraps but demands our silence, a lifestyle that looks good but quietly steals our soul. This fable reminds us, if you must wear a collar to be fed, maybe the hunger is more honest. Across rivers, hillsides, and quiet courtyards, these 9 dog fables have shown us that even man's best friend can reflect our deepest flaws and our greatest strengths. Whether you've heard them before or met them here for the first time, I hope these timeless tales stirred something in you. They remind us to pause before acting on impulse, to see through flattery, to value freedom over comfort and wisdom over pride. Because though the world has changed, the lessons still remain. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Maybe this time through the mouth of the beasts or the wings of the birds.